I love it. All right. Alrighty. I'm going to be using border stripe metallic mesh. This is black and white. I like it because it's got a pretty little white stripe on the bottom. Adds a little bit of interest, especially because this is going to be a thin wreath again. I make a lot of these because I'm in the Midwest. And everybody's got a storm door. And those things don't close if it's any thicker than like that. So that's why we have to be a little cognizant of our thickness. I mean, I'm always cognizant of my thickness, but I'm talking about the wreath in particular. Alrighty, so before I cut the mesh, I'm going to do this real quick. So this is just because it's a thin wreath, there's not a lot of weight. This is a Dollar Tree frame. You can see it's pretty thin, it's pretty narrow. And these are pipe cleaners, not the Dollar Tree kind. Those are not very sturdy. I did get these from Hobby Lobby, and they work okay because I'm not putting a heck of a lot in there. So I'm gonna wrap it around the frame. I'm gonna do it once so I can show you what I did, and then now I'll take it closer and show you how I did it. So this is gonna be where I attach the mesh, right? Because it's got to go on somewhere. So what I'm gonna do is, you see these little spines here? This is where I'm gonna put the pipe cleaner. I'm gonna do 6 on the inside. Then I'll do 6 on the outside, but the outside is going to go between these two. That way it's staggered. So what I do is I bring it through between the second and third spine, kind of hold it up, wrap it up, bring it around on the other side of the spine so that way it cannot slide from side to side. Bring it back around, put it down, and then just twist it once to tighten it. And then I will not unloosen these to put the mesh in. I will actually put the mesh right in and then twist it again. So here I'm going to do this really fast. This is pretty quick. They do also make these other types of things you can use. They're like they're tines. They're like, they look like what you would get if you bought a pre-made wreath frame, how it's got those like little tinsel ties. Basically kind of look like little different multicolored pieces of like the evergreen stuff. And those work as well, especially if you're going to have those out and showing in your design. You would not want to leave pipe cleaners out and showing in your design. So I'm going around. Read some more by Honey Bunny. Well, hello, how are you doing today? Happy, what day is it? It's Thursday, right? Happy Thursday. Happy Friday Eve. Guys, it's almost Friday. Almost Friday. I cannot wait for this weekend. I am surprising my 10-year-old with, so she goes to summer school, unfortunately, and she actually goes to a different school than her best friend. And she doesn't see her that much now. So her best friend's mom and I planned something on Saturday for the girls to get together. We're taking them somewhere, and they don't know that they're going to see each other. They don't know we're going. It's going to be really fun. They have this giant, I guess it's like a whole inflatable bounce house kind of city that they put up by our outlet mall here in Chicago, by the Aurora Premium Outlet Mall. And it's huge. Like, I can't even describe it. You should go look at it on there. I think it's called Bounce the Mall. So we are going to take them to that. I am not bouncing. I bounce enough when I walk. I don't need to actually like pay money to bounce inside a bounce house. I would end up with 2 black eyes because they would bounce right into my face. I don't do that. At my age, just going up and down the stairs is kind of a risk. So I take it easy. But she's young. I'm 50, she's 10. So, you know, she can take the risk, and I'm just going to find a nice bench to sit down somewhere. Alrighty, all right, so here we go. Get my stuff to the side. Put that over to the side. I'm going to cut my mesh. Now I am using, and I've probably shown you this before, this is the triple stationary mesh roller from Susie's Wreaths and Things. You can see that you can put all sorts of mesh on here, 21 inch or 6 inch. You can put rolls of ribbon. Some people have even put wrapping paper on these, and it just holds it, and you feed it right down underneath here, and it holds everything in place. And it keeps the mesh from getting stuck on itself, which is, I can't stand when that happens. So there is an affiliate link to Susie's Wreaths and Things in my bio. If you click on it, there's a link tree. It'll take you right there. I love this thing. My husband bought this for me one Christmas because I asked him to. He had no idea what I needed. He's like, I want to get you something for your wreaths, but I have no idea. I'm like, okay, here's a list of things. I wanted like either the wreath stand or this. And a sweet man that he was, he bought me both. I miss him. All right, so I'm going to cut this. I pulled it down to 10 inches, and I'm cutting it at 28, which means each piece is actually 18 inches, according to my math, which is like a 3rd grade level. All right, so I need to cut 12 of these, okay? So I have 1. I don't want it to roll up. 1. Get under there. Here we go. 2. And you know I'm going to lose count because I always do. 3. Forget that. Let's go. 4. 5. 6. 7. Ooh, did not do a very good job there. Come on, Linda. 7. 8. Come on. Come on. I think I need to change the blade. 9. And 10. 11. Last one. 12. Yay. I have like some sticky residue on there, so I got to change the blade or wash that off. But then, always important to retract your blade immediately. After I cut my finger open one time, I am super paranoid using any kind of rotary cutter now. They're handy. I do love them, but boy, that was kind of scary. Okay, hold on, guys. I got to see why my iPod, or my lightning cable, there we go, was not charging on my iPad. That'd be scary. All right, so then, here we go. Here is my wreath tail board, okay? This is from Hot Mesh Mom. Comes in a set of 2. There's 11 and 12 inch and 13 and 14 inch. I cut mine at 14 inches. But you can get these boards at shophotmeshmom.com. I love these. So I have 2 different patterned ribbons that I picked out today. Because, let me pull up, this is going to be the sign, all right? So then I got the black and white. So I pulled out black and white, right? But I want to add some pop of color. But nothing to, I don't want to take away from the coolness that is that. So I'm just going with a very simple solid orange. So I'm going to cut 12 pieces of each at 14 inches long a piece. And I cut it all at once. So I take my board. I'm going to, here we go. I'm going to tuck it on top of there. So we got 1, 2, get under there. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Was it the electric company? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Younger people don't get that. You have no idea what I'm talking about. All right, here we go. I cut one end. Then I'm going to cut through the other end. I used to cut these ribbons individually when I first started making wreaths. It would take a long time. I would cut them literally one at a time. That's kind of insane. All right, so I'm going to line all the edges up so all the wires are kind of on top of each other. And then I'm going to fold it over so it kind of makes a taco shape, right? Ribbons, or the wire is on the top. I'm going to cut from the inside, angled out. And that makes what's called a dovetail, a very pretty finished edge. These are my good sharp scissors, but they're getting a little dull. So I don't normally recommend cutting this many ribbons at once, but this is not particularly thick. So I think I can get away with it. Otherwise you end up with kind of some uneven dovetails. And we don't want that. So get that. Let me get the next set. Oh, I hope my daughter's in a good mood when she gets off the bus. Because if she's not, that ruins the whole night for like everyone in like a 3-block vicinity. So please be in a good mood, kid. Please be in a good mood. Here we go. I know it's not fun to go to summer school, but she's got to keep her skills sharp. She's in special ed. So it's very important, especially in special ed, that they don't regress with their skills. And it also gives me a little extra peace and quiet. But it'll be good when she's out for 6 weeks. And then we're going to go on a cruise. The mesh holder thingy this is called Susie's Triple Stationary Mesh Roller, and it came from, it's www.simplify-organize.com. But there is an affiliate link in my bio. If you click on my bio, there'll be something called a Linktree, linktr.ee. And if you click on that, that will take you to my link page, and then there's a link in there to Susie's wreaths and things. And she's got lots of great stuff. I also have her glue gun holder, which is amazing, because I always burn my table. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There we go. I love this. I call this my Beetlejuice ribbon because it just kind of has that feeling. That or Nightmare Before Christmas, but I think it's more Beetlejuicy, which is funny because that movie scares the bejesus out of me. I don't know why. I think I was traumatized as a child while it was on. I don't know. And then it's like, now they're making Beetlejuice too. Like, because I'm not triggered enough, right? Here we go. Oh, I'm going to have to sharpen these babies. It's not going too good, but I'm a very lazy crafter. If I can not have to put in extra effort to do stuff twice, I don't have to do it. So I don't want to have to cut 2 sets. All right. And then I don't know if we're going to put the orange on top or if we're going to put the black and white on top of this, but we'll have to see. Once I get the mesh on there, we'll take a look. Now, some people will put all the mesh on and then go back and put the ribbons on. I, however, get super, super lazy, and I just sometimes will, if I'm there and I'm putting the mesh on, then I'll just put the ribbon on right away. And I can adjust it later. But like I said, I'm a lazy crafter. No, not lazy, but like I don't like inefficiency. It cuts into my sitting in the recliner time. So, I know I'm off center. Okay, hold on. Here we go. That's kind of like as good as I can get it. Otherwise, you guys are going to be seeing my shoulder. I don't want you guys seeing my shoulder. That's too close to my face, and I have no makeup on today. It's not a pretty day in Lindaville. I'll say that. All right. So, what we're going to do is grab our first piece of mesh, okay? See how it wants to curl up and in? Because we want to do a pancake wreath and want this thin, we're going to have to keep this mesh thin. So, I'm going to push it down. I'm going to scrape my way up the center, holding it as I go, making sure I'm staying in the center. Oh, I've snagged an extra piece of mesh. Hold on. You wait your turn. All right. And then I have this, which is basically a bow tie shape, okay? So then I'll pull this over here. I'm going to start in the outside ring. Go outside. And then I'll just pinch, and then I'll just twist. I'll just twist that in there, right? So I'm not holding it right now. But I want to overlap the edges because I like doing that. It doesn't snag. And then it's nice and round and small. It looks like a pancake. And this is a method that was coined by Coach Mel and Melissa at Sincerely Creative Mom. So shout out to her for basically revolutionizing this. I still have not made a new wreath yet with the patent pending pancake wreath frame. So that I might try to do this weekend. The hardest part for some reason. Oh, is it gathering the mesh? Is that the hardest part? Because sometimes it like lets loose and then it springs back out and it drives me nuts. Okay, so we can go orange on top and black and white on bottom, or we can go orange on bottom, black and white on top. So there's that as the option, or there's this as the option. And I think because it's black mesh, debating. I think I want the orange on the bottom and then the black and white on the top. let me try it. Let's take a look. So what I do is I fold this over. There we go. I find my center point, right? And then I just kind of pinch it up like I did before. I'm going to open this up. Sorry, I don't have an overhead right now. And I just put it in. Oh, first of all, bend it a little bit. Then I put it in. Close it back on. Yeah, let's take a look. I'm just going to kind of put it there for now, and then we're going to take a look and we're going to see. Because we might still change this up. Because, yeah, I am kind of thinking maybe orange on top. Yep. I like that. Okay, let's try it the other way. It's always good to have some flexibility when you're creating something, because it might not go the way you think, and then you kind of got to just change it up. But basically, go with your gut. My gut says a lot because it's kind of big, so sometimes I have to make it quiet down before I can listen to it. It's usually gurgling with like a gallon of Diet Coke. Okay, so this is orange on top. Yep, well, I agree with you. Orange on top. Orange on top. I cut the tails to 14 inches and then I dovetailed them. Yeah, I could alternate it. I think for this one I'm gonna, or what I could do is I could also go like that, right? Put the orange inside and the black and white on the outside. There's a lot of different ways to go about doing this, but I think, oh, that doesn't look bad actually. Maybe that. No, I think I want it to be more random. Okay, I'm gonna go this way. So the orange is on the top, black and white is on the bottom. All right. Here we go. Perfect. Now I'm gonna move on to the next one. Ugh. And yeah, this is the part that I'm not fun. I know, yeah, I mean, there's not a huge difference. They're both gonna have their time to peek out. It's not like one is going to get overshadowed by the next. And they're not, I don't know. It's not like there's one that I absolutely am dying to have poke out over the other, because neither one has like a particularly unique pattern. But I think we'll go that way. You know what? I'm going to move the ribbons to the side so that you guys can see me working this way. Alrighty, putting it in here. It's just so surreal to be like doing Halloween stuff when it's like 89 degrees outside. Alright, so what I forgot to do is on this bottom one, because I'm not putting anything else in here, I'm gonna twist it up to maybe about like an inch, okay? And I just snip it off. Okay? Like a little wreath vasectomy. Just go snip. Oh, that didn't hurt so bad. Now did it. There we go. And then just bend it kind of down in there. And then you don't even see it. Because that's why I picked black pipe cleaners. Because I thought that was going to be... it blends. So that way it's not like obvious that, hey, there's a pipe cleaner here. It blends with the mesh. It blends with the black and white ribbon. It's all good. It's just crazy. So I cut the mesh at 18 inches. So that was 18 inches long on the mesh. Any longer and it kind of overlaps a little too much. So, and then you can get like 1.5 wreaths out of a single roll of 10-inch mesh, usually. So basically, if you buy 2 rolls of mesh, you can make 3 wreaths, which is awesome, because especially if you make multiples. Like, I'm going to make this a multiple, but I have to actually order more of this black mesh. This is my last roll. I didn't realize I didn't have any more. Shame on me. But there's been some good sales going on. Deco Exchange last night. I'm so excited. They put out their Halloween 60919, which if you don't know what that is, it is this 60919 is this very awesome floral bush that has so much in there that it makes whatever you do look very elegant, very put together. I love it. Everybody loves it. I just started using it about 1.5 years ago. And they had a Halloween version of it that they put out last night. And I missed the first round of Halloween ones, but I got into this next round. I bought 8 of them. And I am just so super excited to see it, because that way it looks like there's so much different variation of what you're putting in there. It's really nice. And it's only, I think, $7.96 or something like that per bush. That's not bad. Alrighty. I'm going back in. Sorry. I just hit something. Something came up and I don't know what it said. What is it called again? Do you mean any of the tools or the method that I'm using? So the tool was the triple stationary mesh roller at Susie's Wreaths and Things. And this is the pancake style wreath. Oh, the bush, that was called, it's 60919. So if you go to Deco Exchange, they have all of that stuff in one particular section. They actually have a heading called 60919. That's how notorious it is. And then if you go there, I don't know if they have any left today, but it was a bush. I think it definitely had some like black and orange, and there might have been, I think there was a hint of purple in there as well. But it was beautiful. And I never, a couple years ago, I would never sit there and, fawn and gush over, greenery and stuff. But man, when I started making wreaths, now I'm like, oh my gosh. The stuff that used to interest me before in life has no interest for me now. It's only wreaths. It's so easy to become obsessed. It's also easy for your Visa card to like start on fire because you have bought too many supplies, which is the kind of the boat that I'm in now. So I better sell some of these. I made one last night and I didn't record it, but I started out trying to make a very, very simple, we're not going to go crazy with this, Linda. We're just going to do a nice little basic Halloween wreath. And I posted a TikTok of it like right before I went live. I went so far over the top. I was so far over the top that I was seeing the bottom. It was a little crazy. But then I think, Halloween sometimes can call for over the top. If I'm going to do over the top, it's Halloween and Christmas. But I think mostly Halloween for over the top. But I had a witch hat. I had witch legs sticking out of it. I was only intending to do like a nice, cute little ruffle wreath. And, look, I don't control myself well. I don't know what moderation is. I have no self-control. My glucose levels can attest to that. I have that as proof. I have no self-control. So that's why I kind of got into a little trouble last night. I used to drive my husband nuts. Oh, I can still hear him from up in heaven going, why are you spending so much money on supplies? Yeah, he was always very supportive. Very supportive. He wouldn't go into a craft store with me, but he'd sit in the car with Aria while I went shopping. So that was all the support that I needed. Except for the one time when I was in Joann and it was like 75, 80% off, maybe 90 of Christmas stuff. And I spent so much money, but I'm still using that ribbon to this day. All the stuff I bought. So that was one of the best purchasing experiences I had. And he did come in and rolled a cart for me. But I owed him one for that. You know what I mean? I owed him one, and he collected. Oh, he's a good man. He is. Alrighty, here we go. So we just finished the last row here on the outside. Alright, so I will show you where we're at so far. So this is just the outer ring, okay? Now we're going to do the inside next, but that's how thin this is. This next layer is not going to get much thicker than that. So we are doing good, and I'm doing good on time. I still have about 45 minutes till my kid gets home. Yay! All right, now I'm going to start doing the inside. 1, 2. Oh, that's doubled up. I thought I didn't cut enough. I did. I just placed one one piece inside the other piece. Because sometimes I do that. I lose track when I'm cutting and I think I've cut enough and I didn't. All right. I'm going to open this one up. I'm not sure if it's Halloween or Christmas that's my favorite stuff to make. I think it is Christmas, but that's when I specialize in tomato cage trees. I've got videos of those on my TikToks. I mainly make them for Christmas. I do make those tomato cage trees for lots of other holidays. I made Halloween trees, 4th of July, Valentine's Day, St. Patrick's Day, Easter. They're really fun, and people seem to like them. But that's the bulk of what I'm going to be having in my boutique space at Painted Tree, because I love making them, but I can't ship them because it costs about $150, $170 to ship them, and that's using pirate ship. I've talked to UPS. We've tried to talk about getting some kind of deal with dimensional weight, but I don't ship enough volume for them to give a crap about working with me. So, you know, that's all right. I'll be able to sell them in person at craft shows and then at Painted Tree. But I do have an instructional set of instructions. There's a video and there's a PDF that's available for sale on my Etsy shop that shows you go through step by step, either video step by step or the written PDF with pictures as to how to create them. They are super fun. The snowman is my biggest seller. I do black and white snowmen. I get the tops that are sold at Walmart. They have like a snowman head. They also have like a top hat. And they've got a gnome head and a Santa. So they've got a lot of really cute ones. I find some toppers at other places too, but that's mainly where I get them. But they sell like hotcakes. Every time I make the snowman head one, or ones with the top hats. It gets some top hats from Old Time Pottery as well. They sell. The problem is they take about 3 hours to make one. So when I make them, I sell them for about $135 was what I sold them for last year. But I have to up it a little bit this year because the cost of supplies. The cost of supplies usually runs around $65. So I think for 3 hours of work and doubling, you know, the cost of that. Plus, let's not forget, everybody, when you're selling at craft shows, booth fees, you need to account for that. Insurance, your gas there and back. It's not just the supplies that you need to get your money back from as well. But I'm hoping to do maybe a few less shows this fall because I now have the space at Painted Tree. Because I have a minivan, and my dad traded in his car, but he usually helps me. But he got a different car, so we're not sure how many trees we can fit in his car, but I tell you, it is hysterical. Because when I went car shopping with him, my mom stayed home. I went with him. We're looking at the cars, and we popped the trunk and stuff, and he's like looking at mileage and all this stuff, and I'm sitting there looking at it going, how many tomato cage trees and reeds can I get in this back seat? Which is funny. But the one car he ended up getting, which was Chevy Equinox, if you lift up like the bottom part of the trunk, there's like a special little hidden why is this not charging? There's a special little hidden compartment. There we go, where I can slide in 2 extra reeds. So I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of a factor when I was looking at stuff, but yeah, it was kind of funny. That is not why I encouraged him to buy that vehicle. It is a nice car. And I don't think they'd ever actually had their own brand new car before. So it was really nice to see them get that. My mom's got trouble getting in and out with bad knees, so she did check it out to make sure she could get in and out first. But it's nice. But my gosh, what it costs for a new car, it is ridiculous. I don't know what's going on in this world anymore. You can't afford anything. It's crazy. All right, tucking that under. And I'm going to keep this one simple. You know, I could add in little bits of greenery here and there on this, but because this is more mainly just like a pumpkin patch, it's kind of a cuter more like I don't know, it would be appropriate for a kid, like a kid's kind of wreath, like a fun wreath, not a scary wreath. But it also isn't like super fall, so I don't think I'm going to add any florals into this one. I might add a bow. Not quite sure yet how I want to place my sign, whether it's going to be centered, off center, whether I'll have a room for a bow, but I got enough ribbon, that's for sure. But again, when you make a bow for a pancake wreath, you can't use like your regular fun big loopy bows. So I make what I call a flat bow. And that way it is designed to be squished. When that door closes, it is meant to basically lay completely flat. And it looks fine because you've already creased the bows, you've designed it flat, so it's not going to look like it's choking or squishing when you close that door. I also don't want to glue anything into the thin wreaths if I can avoid it, because with this weather here in this part of the country, you know, it can get really hot between the storm doors, even in this time of year, or when it gets cold out. Like, I have actually burnt my hand before when I had a screen door. I burnt my hand on it, and it was like November. I mean, it wasn't that hot out, but it hurt. But the glue can sometimes lose its effectiveness, and it starts to melt, and you don't want stuff sliding off and out of your wreath. So if you have to put some greenery or stuff in your wreath, best to wire that stuff in there for sure. You don't want your customer to be disappointed. All right, just a couple more pieces to go, and then we'll get to the fun part about putting on the sign. That's my favorite part. And I use a staple gun for that. All right, where's the next little piece? Gonna pop out right in here. Here we go. Hello to everyone who's joined. Got 58 people watching. Thank you so much for watching today. We're making a pancake wreath, which is a very skinny wreath. Sells very well here in the Midwest. I'd say about at least maybe about a third of the wreaths that I have at Painted Tree are pancake wreaths. And I did want to note that specifically. So if you make pancake wreaths and you sell them at craft shows, make sure you have a sign that specifically calls that out up front and in big letters, made for storm doors, thin wreaths, because people may just have automatically grown assumed to thinking that, oh, I want a wreath, but none of these are going to fit. You're like, well, my friend, have I got a wreath for you? All right. I am located in Plainfield, Illinois, so I am in the western suburbs of Chicago. And my subdivision, up until a couple months ago, literally butted up against a cornfield. So we're out there. We're about maybe 45 minutes outside of Chicago. But we're still close enough to get their violence. It's kind of happening here. People are coming out, they're robbing people. They come out from the city and they'll rob people and all this other stuff. There's been shootings and whatnot going on, so it's very disheartening. But, you know, but there's also local shootings that are just completely local. But no, it's like any other region in the country. I know putting on the signs, that to me, I like putting it on to see where it goes, but I hate the actual process. So I'll make sure to show you how I build up my signs. Because I can't, my staples are thick, and I don't want them to go through the front of the sign. So I also wait, and I don't staple the pipe cleaners or anything to the back of my signs until I'm done with the wreath and I'm about ready to put the sign on, because I could change my mind about where I want it, and that could change the placement of where I put those pipe cleaners on the back. Okay, here we go. The last one, drum roll please. The last one, here we go. Dun 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 dun. Chicago is awesome. They got so much downtown. We went to this thing called the Wonder Museum last month, and it was like this art installation with lots of stuff that was like in neon and lit up, and it was like very electronics centric, and it was really cool. It was fun. Parking was expensive. Tickets were expensive, but there's always so much to do downtown. Lots of concerts. Now, I will say this. They have a lot of cool bands that come do stadium tours, and they come to Wrigley Field. I went. I did not like it because I couldn't hear well. The sound was out of sync with what you saw on the screens. It was loud. Too many people, too expensive. I did sneak my own alcohol in because I'm not paying their prices. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm not going to use this right here, okay? So I'm going to cut this off. And I'm also probably not going to hang it. It's got a little hanger here, the top, okay? See the top? But I don't really probably want to use that either. I would probably staple it like here, 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 and here. So I'm going to staple it in 4 spots. But I think what I'm going to do is have this down here, and then I can have a cute little bow kind of up there, not directly, well, maybe directly on the top. I don't know. Okay, vote with me, guys. Okay. Should I put the sign centered at the bottom with a bow centered on the top? Or should I put the sign kind of off-centered and then have a bow on the side, kind of like right up here on an angle? What do you think? Top, center, or angled? I'll do whatever you guys tell me to do. All right, what do you think, guys? Centered on the bottom with a bow on top? Or off to the side with a bow on the top left on an angle? Off center, center. Okay, I've got votes for one and one. I need a tiebreaker. Next person breaks the tie. Off, angled. Okay, we're going to do angled. Excellent. So that means I'm going to put a zip tie, or not zip tie, a pipe cleaner down here and then one up here. So that way it'll kind of, it's going to be like this. And then a little angled bow over there. Okay, so I'm going to keep my fingers, so it's going to be right there and right there. So I'll show you what I do. I get my trusty Fiskars staple gun. I have 2 pipe cleaners. I don't need super long ones because this is going to go right through. But here's the trick. Here's the trick. I keep... So this is the tube that mesh comes on, right? I keep these. I cut them down, right? I cut strips. And then I just cut, I'm going to cut 2 pieces. 1, 2 for that side. And then 1, 2 for this side. And I build it up so that way the staples do not come through the back of the sign. So, and let me double check again where I want to have these. 1 there. I do want to have it kind of up top. Okay. So I'm going to have 1 up here. So I put these down, and then some people put the pipe cleaner underneath it. I like to put the pipe cleaner on top of it. Okay. Then I'm going to staple it 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to do the same down here in the back. I center it. And I will do down a little bit. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I feel so powerful when I use that. Urgh. I am woman. See me staple. Okay. So I'm going to put this one in here first. So I'm going to feed this right through where I already had a set of ribbons. So, I mean, basically the spot is already there for me. That's not too hard. And then the one down the front. So I'm going to poke it through, and I'm going to twist it, but just lightly on the back side. Come on, sign. Because I usually have to mess with my placement a little bit. Oops, sorry, I twisted my pipe cleaner and it wasn't going through. Go through. Ugh, my eyes. At this age, I can't see much. I even have bifocals and I can't really see very well. Okay, so I got 1 on either side, right? Tell me I got the other one. Oh, geez, oh, Pete. Come on. I don't have time for this. Let's go. All right. Get in there. Okay. It goes fine when nobody's watching. All right, I'm gonna just give it a quick twist just to hold it in place. I'll tighten it in a minute. All right, and then here's this other one is gonna go through right here. So one on that side, and then one on the other side of it. So it's basically straddling that last pancake with the ribbons. Okay, now this one I'm going to do a little bit tighter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, now I'm going to flip it over. Now I can tighten this a little bit better. So this was the loosey-goosey one that was kind of temporary. So here we go. 1, 2. Flip it around. I'll leave these a little longer because I like to make sure that it can wrap around the frame again and then tuck in there. I want to make sure I don't have any little sharp things sticking out. All right. Sometimes people will put like a placemat or felt or something on the back of their wreaths to make sure that the appliance door doesn't get scratched. I typically don't have a lot of sharp stuff on there, so I don't do that. But nothing wrong with doing that if you want to. Okay. So here is our pumpkin patch sign. I flipped it. Come on. Come on, baby. Come on. Here we go. I knew that didn't look right. There we go. Much better. So now what I need to do is make a thin bow. So I'm going to put this is our hot little baby. See how thin it is? See how thin that is? Perfect. Okay. It's going to go over there. I'm going to grab a new tool. This is the Easy Bows Design Pro. There is also a link for this in the link tree, an affiliate link in my bio.
Thanks for watching. You can follow me on Facebook and TikTok, and you can also see all of my available creations at sweetariadecor.com.
to say this. I love this so much. No, I really wouldn't, but seriously, you know what I'm saying. This is one of my top tools. I absolutely adore it. So, what am I going to put on the back? Okay, I'm going to put the black and white on the back, I think. So, make sure I got my scissors. So this is going to be a small bow. I mean, and not a very thick one. So I always dovetail my end when I start. That's just, I'm weird. Most people don't do it that way. But I'm going to put it in there. I'm going to measure my tail so that it hits, the tail of it hits at 7 inches. But I think the rest of the loops might be closer to 6. So I twist, pinch and twist, right? So you want it to look like this. Pinch and twist. All right, so you're looking at the back side of the ribbon. So then what we're going to do is flip it around. So, oh, look at the pretty side there now. So pretty. And I want it to kind of be, this at 6 inches. So I'll make sure that the loop is at 6 inches here. You can see that. And then I kind of put that in pinch and twist again. So we do another of our little pinch and twist, right? Pretty side up, side up. Then we're going to go back around and do it again on the other side. So make sure that that hits about 6 inches. Pinch and twist. I'm going to do another loop on this side. Okay, that one is also 6 inches. Make sure they're exact same width. Pinch and twist. Come down. Do that again. Okay, and then this one, I'm going to cut the end off. But remember, so this ends just a little bit before 7 inches. So I have some, so I'm going to take the wired edges, put it together, right? And then cut from the inside, angled toward the top with the wire. Pretty, see, pretty, right? But oh, it's just sandwiched. What do we do with this? Well, what I like to do is I'll separate these loops, and I'll have that dovetailed thing in the center for the bottom layer. So I'm going to do that again here. So I'm going to go down and up. All right, so that's what we have for that. It's going to be a cute little bow. So we're done with the stripe. Now we're going to add on the orange layer. I'll plop that down in there. All right. Again, I start with the dovetail because I'm weird. And now this time we're going to come in, but a little smaller than last time. So that before hit at 7, this is going to, that tail should hit at 6. But then my loop is going to come in at like 5. Okay, so there we go. Okay, well, it's okay. It's, yeah, I'll make it 5. Yep, okay. 1 and 2, and then 3, pinch and twist, and then 4. My ribbon, I think I got this from Craft Outlet for the striped, black and white stripe, but the orange, the solid orange, I got from Deco Exchange. Affiliate link in bio. You're sick of hearing me say that, I know. But when they had a really good sale, I went and bought a whole bunch of just the solids, and you can't go wrong. If there's a sale and you don't know what to buy the solids. Okay, so this one I'm going to cut a little bit before 6 inches, dovetail that. I also go to, the Craig Bachman has, he's an importer, and he has a warehouse sale that he has out here. He has it in Tinley, or Frankfort, Illinois, by Tinley Park, twice a year. And I go there too, and that's where I buy a lot of ribbon at discounted prices. That's when they have, like, you know, maybe 1 or 2 rolls of this type of ribbon left. It's out of the box, because they usually sell things by the case. I don't have the money to buy stuff by the case, unless it's wine coolers. Then I'll find the money. All right, and then the last thing I want to do is, I don't want to just have that there. I want to have something cute in the center. So I have this plaid ribbon. The Craig Bachman fall sale, so that is, they do it twice a year. They do it in October, and they did it this last year. I think it was in April. No, they did it in March. It was early. And that's just when they take all the stuff they've imported, that they've got extra stuff, and they sell it, but it's only in person. You're going to the Bachman Fall Warehouse sale for the first time this year? Oh my gosh, I'm so happy for you. It is going to be like freaking Christmas. If you have a rolling cart with wheels, I highly recommend you bring it. I always bring my rolling grocery cart. Okay, so this one, I'm going to do a tiny little, this is going to, I think, go out to 5 inches here. Right, I'm going to do a tiny little loop, just because I want to be able to cover the icky stuff in the center. So I'm making just, I don't know, is that like what, maybe like a, it's about maybe 1 inch to 1.5 inches wide. And then come back and kind of cut the same thing. The Craig Bachman Warehouse sale. That's my Christmas. That is my happy day twice a year. I take my minivan and come home with it full. I go nuts. His prices when you're buying for the regular warehouse stuff, I've never bought. I have an account, but you have to have $500 for your first purchase. And they seem good if you use a lot of something, or if you want to resell supplies, which I don't. Sometimes if I find some extra stuff at the sale, I'll buy that and I'll list it for sale. There's a couple like rolls of ribbon on my Etsy site, sweetariadecor.com. But typically I can't afford to do that yet. All right, so I'm going to wrap this real tight around the bow. All right. And then you can see here's our bow. So what I'm going to do then is that's going to come in, and I'm going to squish it flat. Here, I got to put this down to fluff it. Give me a second. Sorry. I need to fluff it. So that one had, the back level had the ribbon tail is centered. For the orange, the top layer, I kind of have it where it's loop, and then the tail's coming down a little bit. And then this orange and black plaid, just for cuteness. That one's kind of in the center like that. So that is the bow that I have. And look how it's very flat. It's going to be on the wreath. It's pretty thin. But the good thing about making bows like that is you can fluff them up. If they have more room in there, or they don't need to keep it narrow, then they can fluff up the bows. Let me get this out of the way. And we're going to attach our bow. So I want it to go, so you got like boom, boom, boom. So I think right there is probably where I'm going to want it to go. So I'm going to do like I did with the sign. I'm going to take the ends, pipe cleaner ends, and feed it right through where I already have that little bundle with the ribbon on it, where that pipe cleaner is from that little mesh holder. I'm going to pull it tight, and then all I got to do is just twist it Twist it a couple times. And then I'm going to snip the back. And I like to leave it a bit longer on the bows. In case, you never know, sometimes they might want to take the bow off. They might want to use the bow somewhere else. Who knows? But I want to make sure that they can still reuse it if they want to use it somewhere else. Okay. Oh my gosh, it turned out so cute. It turned out so cute. Oh, I'm so happy. Okay.
And here is the finished product. I love how it turned out. It is still very thin, but yet it's still full enough where it doesn't feel like it is skimpy, and it's going to give you that little bang that you want on your front door for Halloween. See, there you go. If you liked this, please follow along on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram, and you can see my creations at sweetariadecor.com.